Guatemala. First of all, as always, we're going to look at some data, so have some context, and then we're going to look with Google Earth, Street View, and some 360s to see how exactly those people actually live. So, as you can see here, we don't have exactly a clear border, clear line, probably because they have some conflict here, most likely with Belize, judging by this line. So, now we're going to look at the population first. 18.6 million people in this region and still rising. You can see that, but the growing rate, it's going down. Now, 1955, there only in around 3.5 million people in this region with a growing rate about 2.7%. That would be like 87,000 people. And migration was on minus almost 2,000 people. Median age was around 16 years old, and one of those nonsense fertility rates 7. Urban population around 28%. Fast forward to 2025, the population grew tremendously. Now they are around 18.6 million people with a growing rate around 1.5%, and that would be like 280,000 people yearly change. And migration still on minus, around 8,000. Median age around 23 years old. Fertility rate now much more manageable, 2.2, 2.3. And urban population around 56%. As you can see, pretty much from the entire history, they have a migration on minus. So, migration on minus, things are not going well there, but they have one of those 7 nonsense fertility rate. And the population is still growing. So yeah, it's pretty much so far a recipe for disaster. Now, 2050, they say the population is going to reach almost 25 million people and still growing at around 0.8%. That will be around almost 200,000 people. And migration still on minus, around 8,000. Median age 33 years old, and fertility rate, they got below replacement, but it's still too late for those people. 1.8, 1.9 per woman, which is again pretty insane. Urban population 73%. Life expectancy here, it's very good. It's 72, 73 years old for both sexes. Female 75, males almost 71, so they're doing very well in that department. Infant mortality rate 16.8, and death at the age of 5, 20.7, so clearly the medical system pretty much doesn't exist. Interesting fact here at ethnic groups, they have around 65% Latino, mixed, and 41% Maya, so they have some pretty decent, I would say, native population. Christianity around 88%, and the others pretty much no religion. I think it's pretty interesting to see those. So they are, again, one of those Spanish colonies. So usually those Spanish colonies don't do that well, but we're gonna look exactly how those people do when we go to the Google Earth. Now, demographic pyramid, as you can see, the base, it starts to go a bit narrow, but not that much. They have some male surplus population by the age of 25, 26, around that, and then they go in a female surplus, but not something extremely crazy. Economy in a country like this, well, let's see how well they're doing here. So they calculate for the population from 2023 here at 18 million people. GDP, look at this. GDP, it's 120 billion US dollars, so nominal, and PPP around 280 billion US dollars. They say the growing rate was, the last one was on 4.1% in 2021. GDP per capita, look at this, 6,600 US dollars. 6,000, not that much, and PPP around 15,000. So yeah, things are not going that well here. GDP by sector, agriculture 13%, industry 23%, and services only 63%. This was in 2017, maybe they improve a bit, but I'm not sure. In 2020 they have an inflation around 4.2. Where they stay pretty good, even this from 2017, the unemployment is 2.5, and youth unemployment was 5%. Though in that department they're doing pretty well, but I guess with such a small salaries probably that they have there, yeah, it doesn't make that much sense, I would say. So yeah, they export a lot to the United States and they import a lot for the United States. So yeah, pretty standard for countries like this. Corruption index in this country, well, cannot be that good, but let's check it anyway. Let's see, Guatemala, where actually they are. Guatemala, 25 points. They raised 8 points, which is pretty good, I have to say, but still, 25 points is more corrupt, perceived as more corrupt, which is almost extremely corrupt in my book, but I guess it is what it is. Now, history, not that much interesting, I would say. Everybody knows those countries speaking Spanish. They're pretty much, look at this, Spanish colonies. Not that much interest. Again, they have that dispute, I would say, with Belize, from what I understand, and British Honduras. They call it here, but I think that's the part when they don't seem to understand each other that well. But yeah, we're gonna look at that now. Let's see how those people live. Again, we don't have a red line because they have these nonsense issues here with Belize, but we have some pretty decent, let's say, Street View and 360. So we have some actually decent data to check them. I'm not sure exactly how they cross this straight line, but for whatever reason they like it to have it in a straight line. So yeah, in this part of the world they're gonna have on those Mayan, I think, I'm sure that if I maybe could be some other civilization, but usually we can call it like Maya civilization or stuff like that. So yeah, native population civilization that used to live in this region in their way of life, and we have pretty much a lot of those in these regions. Probably who's very passionate about this kind of civilization is gonna be pretty much the heaven on earth for them here, but for me, not exactly that much interesting in those civilizations that they got conquered very easily, I would say, and even not conquered, very easily assimilated in this new European ones. So yeah, but they have their good run, I'll give you that. No, I'm not trying to take anything from them. So we're gonna check a bit the jungle here, see how things are. It's really nice, in landscapes here. It is pretty nice. Very wildness, very nice, very tropical. It's definitely a place when you can actually, if you want to go back, let's say, to that unhuman touch land, you can find some places here. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the corruption, with that corruption, how things is gonna play here, and especially the crime rate, because everybody knows in South America, just absolutely insane. Central America, pretty much the same, especially from the news that we have here in Europe. So yeah, I'm sure it's not exactly that bad, but still, it's not exactly free crime, let's face it. Here the roads actually pretty good, and this is 2016. Wow, almost 10 years ago, and things looking that doesn't look that bad, I have to say. This is are the gas prices. I'm not sure exactly the currency here and how that it's gonna, what is the exchange rate, but still. Cars here, a lot of those Toyotas, which is nice. Here is Disability Agencia Melapona de Meco. I have no idea what it says here, but I have some barbed wire on the fence and a watchtower, so I'm not sure exactly what is happening there, but it doesn't look that safe. Here, let's check the windows. Do they have bars? Well, this one has, this one doesn't. So okay, this is a store. Looking for the residential homes. Yeah, I mean the road is pretty nice, I have to say. I kind of like it. And this house, I think, looks a bit abandoned. Not sure exactly what's happening here. Yeah, not any houses they have. Yeah, this one has bars, but this one again looks like it's abandoned. Yeah, things are not going that well here. When again, it's a very nice metrics, I would say. When you see bars on the windows, things are not going that well in that region. They have those American style trucks, which are pretty nice, especially from the European perspective. Keep in mind, this is 2016. Who knows? Maybe they got so much better now they even don't need those bars on the windows. Maybe we got stuck in the past and now it's actually much better. Who knows? If you're living in those countries, just leave a comment and say how things really are there. Or if you at least visited. Yeah, here the road is pretty nice. The weather looks great. Housing, well, I didn't expect that much, but some of them doing pretty interesting. Others not so well. I guess it is what it is with this. I think the main problem in those countries always gonna be, and probably, who knows, maybe it's a Spanish and heritage, I'm not sure, but corruption in those countries, it feels like they will never gonna have an end to them. So yeah, it's just gonna always run with them. Maybe they're gonna get some good points at some point and then they're gonna lose. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that much better, let's say in 100 years from now. But I guess at least they can try. Yeah, probably it's a school nearby. The road again is pretty good, I have to say. Houses here, some of them they are trying to build something new and interesting in a way, but not exactly great. Also, I like that just one level house, which is pretty good. Some of them they just started and never finish it. Maybe like I said, they have a lot of migration outside. So a lot of people choose to live outside or at least work outside for better wages, and then probably they send money back as always they do, and they're trying to build a house here and all that stuff. Now I think it's a huge mistake doing that, but hey, everybody do whatever they want with their money. We talk about in other videos. Governments like it because it's a jump start for their economy, but you need to have like a very, very low corruption in the government to even remotely can use this type of economics for a short period of time. If you have corruption, not even close. You're just working for nothing pretty much if you go back with the money especially. But I guess it is what it is. So yeah, what else? They have some nice restaurants, nice, I don't know, maybe some resorts here. Who knows, they have it, but I highly doubt that's in that middle of nowhere right there. So they have some cities. Okay, as always I have to say, we go randomly on the map. I'm not choosing all the good sites to see them. I'm not choosing all the bad sites. I have no idea where they are. I just go in randomly on the map to see how the average guy is living here. I'm not making this intentional, so don't think for a second, I would just choose the bad side. We have good sites too, they didn't show it. Well, if I didn't find them, first of all, it means that there are not that many. If I find all the bad stuff, maybe because you have more of those bad stuff than the good ones. So it's like, you know, in the world championship or motocross, I would say, or in the nation competition, motocross on nation, when they have, let's say, I don't know, I think like 6 rounds, something like that, and the worst results it get cancelled, and also the best results it get cancelled, so you can have a nice average. So you're trying to using pretty much the same idea here. You can have the better places in this one, and you can have even worse, but I'm going for the average. So yeah, very typical for South American streets. Here is pretty much straight ones. This is 2016. Those roads are not paved, but again, 2016, maybe they got better right now. This is not a residential area from what I can see. It's pretty much a commercial one. They have a few houses on those streets. This garbage here, I don't like it. Now here is gonna tell you a lot about the civilization on those people, how they live, from how they keep their streets clean, how is the bus station, how is their yards, how is their house, all that stuff. Even if you had for the maintaining a good yard and cleaning the streets, you do not need that much money. Let's face it. I mean, just everybody throw the trash in the container. You're not gonna have trash. Everybody have a nice, let's say, yard in front of their house. You don't need that much money in the first place, and you have a nice yard. That's gonna show you a lot about the population. If you maintain the bus station very well, again, it's gonna show you a lot about your civilization. But if you have those things getting done, let's say, usually those countries are not that corrupt, and things are doing pretty well there. So yeah, it's not very rarely I think you're gonna find people that are taking care of their land and also doing bad in their country. That I didn't find one so far. So yeah, that's gonna tell you a lot, I would say. Those are concrete roads from what I see. Yeah, I think like that. Not so bad, not a worse thing. Pretty decent, but again, the way they build the yards, their lands not that big. I keep talking about this. We need to start building new small communities, and people, they're gonna follow immediately, in my opinion, because you're gonna find them pretty nice. But yeah, it's not gonna happen in those countries. Even like in a first world country, it's gonna be a monumental task to achieve such a thing. But I guess we have to start from somewhere. Ooh, this looks like an old town here. Let's check this one. Pavement here, it's, let's say, one of those classic ones. I think we can say that. Yeah, for some reason doesn't work that well. Let's see this piazzetta. It is from above. The piazzetta where everybody is supposed to meet. Well, not so bad. They're living on the island. They have a road, which is pretty good, but yeah, very jammed together. Not that much space between them. And keep in mind, there are 18 million people. I am curious. Probably should start some looking for more data. How many houses do you need for 18 million people? Because not everybody is gonna have their own. What is the average? Not everybody is gonna have their own home. You're gonna live like one person per home. You're gonna live at least two, if not even more. So you don't have exactly 18 million homes here. You have like probably 10 millions around that. And how nice can you start building those houses, those new ones, and how much it's gonna cost with time, not immediately? Because I think it's a desperate need for new type of housing, and more important, the land that they are put on those houses. Yeah, it is gonna improve, I would say, much better. Let's check this road. Doesn't seem to have that many roads, at least that wasn't marked here, but they have some roads that connect those big town, city, whatever you want to call it, and they're good quality. So yeah, at least they have that, which is pretty good. Infrastructure, it's a huge part of the economics, so at least they have that. Let's say, at least we can say that. Here in Central America, countries are not that big, not with what we see pretty much in almost every single country in South America. So this distance between those towns is not gonna be that great, that much. But yeah, as you can see how those people live here. Unfortunately, you cannot go on that street, but it feels like they got stuck, like they're living how they used to live 100 years ago. Things not looking so well. Straight lines, but again, we have a lot of other roads here, probably unpaved, where I can see. Now, again, it's not the best country in Central America or South America, whatever you want to call it, or North America for some. The problem that I see, that I don't understand, is you have migration outside the country and you still have that many kids, you still have that many people, that population is still growing, which is extremely strange for me, but I guess it is what it is with those countries. They still don't understand that they do not need that many kids, especially in the past, in the 80s and 90s and 70s and 2000 early. They just roll with the wave, I guess, and now they pay the price. And not even pay the price now, probably they're gonna pay the price in the next 25 years. But yeah, maybe things are doing better there than I give them credit, but from what I can see here from the above, that's not the case. Let's face it, does not look that well. Some areas, yeah, there are 18 million people and rising. They're gonna have people that are doing very well. This is how it's happened. Always gonna be like that. But for the main population, and even those people that are doing pretty well, you can imagine if even you have like a Rolls Royce, let's say, and you have to drive on this road, which is not that great. You have to see this landscape, which is not that great. You have to see how those people live, which is not that great. I mean, you might say you not care because you're rich and you have your nice house, your nice cars, but you have to use the same roads. You have to, maybe you have some private medical system that you don't have to deal with the medical system for the poor people, or even better, maybe you're just flying outside the countries, overseas, who knows, and you have a much better medical care. But at some point, if you want to go outside, you have the crime rate, you want to go, let's say, in a mall and you get mugged and you get robbed. It could happen, even if though you have, like, say, bodyguards and all that stuff. It's an unnecessary expensive, and a lot of people in the power choose to do so like that than just trying to improve life for everyone else and lower the crime rate and all that stuff. So they are, let's say, very selfish in that department, but I guess it is what it is. And in South America and the Spanish colony, ex-Spanish colonies, seems to be the way to go. Now, Guatemala, I think Guatemala City, whatever they call the capital, let's see how those people actually live here. Probably here is going to be the main population, and this is 2016. They doing pretty good. From 2016, I'm not sure, look at this tower, how huge it is. It's a cell tower, most likely. So far, they're doing pretty nice in here. I have those blockage here for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Maybe they just go down and then they just let you pass. Because I don't understand that how you can actually, or maybe just go between them. I'm not sure. pretty strange way of doing some things. Yeah, a lot of cars. This building not so much. We got in a pedestrian area, I think. Oh no, they go with a car here, but it's very narrow, so you can see a lot of windows get bashed here. So this is how we do it. Probably because, I don't know, they don't want to ram into people. Who knows? Yeah, they seems to go between that. Well, let's see. Barbed wire here, not so impressed. I have no idea what happened to this car when they got bashed on the side collision. What else? Yeah, a lot of bars you can see on the doors, maybe on the windows too. Yeah, oh my god, all the way. Yeah, crime rate clearly a problem here. Well, this neighborhood doesn't look so well. The road's pretty decent. Not exactly a great place. Probably GDP per capita definitely is gonna be better here. We have some golf course here, so maybe this is the rich neighborhoods. I'm not sure if that's a golf course. It looks like a golf course from above, but that image wasn't from there, so probably we need to have some rich people here. Yeah, look at this, they have it right here. So it's easy to find those rich people now. We just follow the golf course, you're gonna find them immediately. Yeah, some of them are doing pretty decent here. Unfortunately, we don't have 360 or street views on these streets for God knows what reason. They seems to do better, but keep in mind from above. Man, look at this barbed wire. Yeah, better, but not exactly that much better. But it looks nice here, I have to say. It's a much better looking street. It's a much better looking house here. Things are not so bad for them here, and this is 2016. Who knows? Maybe it got even better by now. Not so bad. The cars not that well. Again, they have some people that are not doing also that well. Barbed wire everywhere. So yeah, it's a gated community, I guess, from here. So probably from here we're gonna see the actually how those people live. But still, I think because they live a bit jammed together. Not that many trees here, especially here is just pretty much missing all the way. Not exactly a great place even for those rich ones, and here probably is gonna be the poorest communities, and yeah, doesn't look that well. See that close they live to each other, probably because the overpopulation, that's a huge problem. See, you have the overpopulation country. At some point you're gonna use that empathy for the others. Just there are too many on the street, and I tell you something, when you are like 8.2 8.3 billion people in this world, and every single one of them trying to have it all, things cannot go that well. So yeah, and you scale that down to the countries like this one with 18 19 million people, 20 million people, it's gonna be the same story, because they have a much smaller land. Not that many resources, not that much, like I say, empathy for them. When you see them the street getting jammed, everybody wants a car, everything you want to go just gonna be lines and lines of car waiting. You want to go to, I don't know, a mall, everyone's going there. You want to go in a vacation in a countryside in a nice place, everyone goes there and kind of jam at everything, because you know the problem is not having a car. The problem is not having a house in a nice neighborhood. That's not the problem. The problem is there are too many people that chasing the same thing, and there is not enough for every single one of them. So that's why they're using money. Using money to, hey, you have more money, you can afford those nice things. It's supposed to be for everyone, but unfortunately they got so many so fast. The demand was so high, and the supply cannot keep up. So we have to separate it somehow, and we choose money because it's a simpler way. Humans only choose simpler ways, and this is how we end up in this mess. But unfortunately the people didn't see that, so they still continue to multiply them. So they still have so many kids. And when you go to Africa, just wait for those videos. What you're gonna see there is gonna be absolutely insane. What the fuck is that? I see something. That's a building. And again, that nice barbed wire here. Yeah, and then you're gonna have crime rates, then you have lack of empathy, then you're gonna have a lot of those good stuff, that comes with overpopulated cities. Oh, look at this. That's a stadium. Pretty nice. So yeah, here in Europe, in the Western world at least, we kind of understand that, and we stopped doing it. So yeah, even still, we paying the price for the other generation that they multiply pretty much at the same level. It's not over for us yet. We still have to, drag the old cursed, probably for the next 25 years at least, and then probably in the next after that, especially if we fix migration, okay, especially from the outside the Western world, should ban altogether, and then we can actually start talking about very individualistic ways of living, I would say. Until then, I don't think it's gonna change that much. It changes. Now we can feel the change. It's a bit better, but a big change has to come with time and with some pretty dramatical politics. Yeah, things are not looking great here. Probably the other countries, they're using those people for cheap labor and nothing else. They don't care about anything else. So yeah, those people are willing to take those jobs because they pay much better than they pay in their country. Unfortunately for them, they still have too many kids, and they still go back in their country with the money, spend them on in a country with a corrupt government and with a rigged game. The game is rigged everywhere, but in countries like that, like this, I don't know, it feels like you kind of waste your money and time, but I guess it is what it is. Especially again, if you live in countries with still growing population, even worse, growing population for migration. It's not the case here, but we have the case, let's say, in America. Things are not going that well. It's going to be in the future, so we need to stop exactly the migration, because come on, let's face it, the new jobs that are going to be hit the market is going to be less and less. It's going to be get automated. So yeah, I don't see the point of, you already have too many humans. Just, it's insane the level that we reached so far. They say we're not going to reach 10 billion. It's going to go just shy of 10 billion and then start going down. Well, I'm not sure, but in the West, definitely, especially even in America, I think if I make some calculation, oh, they have some lava here, pretty nice. If I make some calculation, probably the native population, talking about the native population of the US, those that are not migration, not the native population, things are already start going down even in America, I guess. But I guess you don't see those numbers because they have a huge migration there legally at least. Illegally is going to be even much bigger. Yeah, a lot of garbage here. I don't like it, but the road did present themselves pretty decent. So yeah, in my opinion, what the fuck? Why do you keep this pole in the middle of the street? That's a hazard, right? This is how accidents happen. See? Yeah, why? You just want to have the light coming from the middle? Yeah, for those countries that's still having increasing population, God help them. They're not gonna end that well. At least not everybody who lives there right now in their lifetime is gonna have some pretty great memories, let's call it like that. Here on the beach, we have a river on side, ocean on the other side. Not so bad. Some garbage here that I don't like it, but yes, it is what it is. We see garbage pretty much everywhere so far. So yeah. Oh, we have some rich guy here with a pool. Maybe it's a resort or something. Huh? I'm not sure exactly where this one, though. From the above, it looks pretty nice. The length is very nice. Unfortunately, this is where it stops. At the length. El Salvador is on the other side. So yeah, the borders here not exactly extremely clear, I would say. But I don't think everybody's just gonna cross the border like, what's the point? It's El Salvador, probably it's the same as they do. We're gonna check that too at some point, but still. They have an ATV here. They have some bikes, which is nice. A lot of garbage, which I don't like it particularly. Those tuk-tuks, whatever the fuck they are, absolutely horrible. I hate them. Those bikes actually looking pretty nice. Oh, this one is pretty nice, yeah. Yeah, here I don't think we need to talk about what ways of transportation do we need, and have no idea what's happening here. You can use pretty much a bike, you can use a motorcycle, you can use a car. I need to scale her up. The problem it is in these countries, the same thing is gonna be like Is it worth it? Continue, especially if you live there, yeah, fine. If you go outside to work and make some money, it is worth it to come back. I mean, do you have something to come back here? It's just because I don't see that well the future for countries like this, especially like I say, they still have a growing population. They're gonna eat them their GDP per capita. They're gonna, we call it here in West failed states, but still not sure exactly how they're gonna end up in the future. If the population will go down, we will have a different discussion. That will show me that they realize that things cannot go on like that, and they need a change. That would be something different. But the population still go up, and a pretty high rate also. Not sure how they're gonna play this hand, but I guess it is what it is. Now here, let's check the. Oh, we have this lake. Oh, let me see the more detail here. Yeah, it doesn't work from there. Let me check this one. The road seems to be pretty good. Here it's a paved one for. Not sure exactly how they done those shapes. Probably was concrete and they just make with the model from above and they just put it like that. Yeah, landscape, it is pretty nice. I have to give them that. It's not those muddy waters that we see in other places, and it looks pretty good. Let me see again the borders. Hopefully it's gonna be this one. I'm sure I can. Okay, so they have a border here. I want to check this short line here. Maybe it's better. Hopefully we are still in Guatemala. I don't think I fucked up that bad. Yeah, a lot of people everywhere. This is 2016. Again, they're from almost 10 years ago. Maybe they got improved. I'm not sure. But judging by how people are, not sure exactly how much they improve it. Oh, here it's pretty decent. It's not exactly the South Pacific, but still pretty good. Pretty good. Nice houses here. Probably at some point those, so maybe in the summertime, this is September, maybe they close. Maybe in the summertime they have a lot of tourists here. But I think even September is not exactly that cold of the month here. Yeah, a lot of those look abandoned. Hopefully we are still in Guatemala. If not, just scratch that. Again, it's very hard to, it's harder, I think very hard. It's harder to see how they're doing without a clearly borderline. Okay, they have some mountains with some volcanoes. Let me see if they have some 360 here. Well, like I see, we have a lot of those. What the fuck? Why you get me there? I click it on the other side. They have a lot of those 360s and street views, which is pretty good. They show the reality, I guess, at some point. It just doesn't be shy of anything. It's just, hey, this is how things are, good or bad, just show it, just the way it is. Maybe we try to improve it, see? That is good for them. Again, not so bad. Not that bad, but still, you can see that how much it was, 6,000-7,000 GDP per capita. It's gonna have an effect on the people here, and like I said, there are 18 something million people and still growing. As any country, they're gonna have some really rich ones that are doing very well, but most of the people, they're gonna be poor, because I don't know anyone from Guatemala that's gonna say, oh, we're gonna work in the US because it's gonna pay less in the US. No, it's pay less in Guatemala. Yeah, a lot of chaos here. I'm not sure exactly what's organized chaos, maybe the best we can say. They trying to sell some goods here, some vegetables, some fruits, all that stuff. Again, 2016, they need to go back here. Maybe they actually change radically. I'm not sure. A lot of garbage here, but I have my doubts. Yeah, it's typical South American, those cables, barbed wires. It's pretty much, if you sell cables and barbed wires here, you're gonna do probably pretty well. And bars for the windows and doors. If you have this type of business here, probably you're gonna do well. You're gonna do well in countries like this. That's a American bus, school bus. They use it here too. Let's see how those people in this region live. Well, not so well. At least I don't see the. Oh no, they have bars here on the ground level. They have some bars on the windows. Yeah. Living with bars at your house, it feels like you're gonna pretty much living in a prison for the rest of your life, I guess. But hey, people choose to go for that thing. For 2016, cars are pretty decent. A lot of American cars, so probably they exported. The Americans just want to get rid of those cars and they send them here. Yeah, I guess some business. Yeah, things not so well in this part of the country. Well, on the countryside, even you have even more poverty. Probably have a bit more quiet, I would say. Usually you're supposed to have, ooh, that's a nice place. It's supposed to have more safety because there are not that many people and kind of everybody knows each other, but I don't think that applies here. In Europe, yeah, it's very easy. But we don't have that much crime in Europe at all. Oh, look at this garbage. The most crime that we have, judging by the new statistic, are from immigrants. So yeah, that's another problem. But in Europe, crime is very low, I would say, even in almost all the countries, especially from the native people. What else can we find here? Oh yeah, there is some small of the village with a football court there. Yeah, maybe a bit more peace here, and probably those villages people are living the most. Maybe some of them they're moving to city, some of them they just choose to work abroad. But the landscape it is pretty nice here, so yeah, it's like I say a different life. Oh, we have even a lake here. Let's check this one. Look at that square. Let me see that again. Maybe it's one of those protected area. Looks pretty nice, but look at how they did it. Just an absolutely square here. They just clearly nobody can enter here with construction, which show me that they have some decent building code at least, where they don't allow anyone to build inside. Okay, maybe these guys, but I probably was there before. So that's pretty decent, at least for now. Hopefully it's not gonna change in the future and they're just gonna release them and it's gonna let them build whatever they want. But again, I didn't see that many new building places here. Maybe I didn't find them exactly where they are, but it seems to me that they'll still rely on those old construction, old housing. It's not like we saw in Uruguay, for example, but also the Uruguay have the less population. Here is still growing at an insane rate, I would add. But yeah, I guess they don't bother that they don't care that much. So it's for them, hey, more people, more economic, more consumption, more taxes, more revenue for the government, the better those in the government are gonna live. Everyone else figure it out for themselves, which is not exactly a great policy. But it's applied to every single country. So yeah, those countries that have lower population start going down or stop growing, especially here in Europe. All those politicians that are in power now, they are in full panic mode. They have no idea what to do. That's why we're gonna see them gone probably in the next 10-15 years. So they're gonna get replaced by the right, which they supposed to do a much better job. So we're gonna see how that is gonna play. But first we need to stop migration. That's the first thing that we need to do. Wow, look at this. A lot of people seems to be really fat in this country, so they don't have a shortage of food, so they're doing pretty well with food here. So I guess yeah, they figured that out. Look at this barbed wire at this level. Come on, how you can live like that? Cables from South America again, pretty standard trademark. Some garbage on the ground, which I don't like it. Yeah, I think we see enough from Guatemala. I don't think I'm gonna see something much better than this. This is the average, how they live. So yeah, a lot of fat people here too. So food must be good here and plenty. Very chaotic here. Look at the garbage here. It's just no thank you. I'm not sure exactly those guys were waiting in line, but something happened here. I'm not sure exactly what is this. This is a prison? What is this? Let me see that. I'm not sure if probably it's a prison. They're waiting for people to see them. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not exactly a prison, but still. A lot of people wear hats here, which is pretty nice. Those people trying to sell clothing items, I guess. This is from the army or police. Maybe it is a prison here. There is a lot of bars and those people waiting to see their their families or friends. Pretty fucked up, but it is what it is, I guess. In those countries, again, probably the crime rate it is pretty high. Yeah, things not looking so well for those people, but again, the main problem that I see is this line going up. Those percentage over 1%, it's insane, and still continue. Just they got below, but yeah, I don't see them a good ending for them. At least not for those people that are alive right now. Good life, actually changing in life, that is gonna say, okay, we actually live much better than we lived 10 years ago. I don't think they can say that, unfortunately. So yeah, well, I guess that's Guatemala. Look at this, it's in Central America. Interesting still country, but going there to visit, nah, no thank you. Work not even close. Maybe if you do some business here with some government, but it's a corrupt government, I guess, so good luck with that. Usually you get burned when you're trying to do those kind of business if you're not exactly a huge fish in a small tank. So yeah, I guess that's the video about Guatemala. If you live there, if you watch this video from there, tell me how things really are. Maybe I missed something, maybe I misinterpreted a few things, I'm not sure. But from above and at the ground level with street views and 360s, things are not looking that great, and it's not one of those places that you can say, okay, I can see some great hope in the future, and probably in the next 10-15 years, 25 years at most, we're gonna see a dramatic increase in life quality. We're gonna see, yeah, better houses, better infrastructure, better landscape, better building code, better city management and all that stuff. I don't think we're gonna see that here. So yeah, check the other videos and see you next time.